Number one, no one in my house has run out of laundry. Not
Yeah,
once,
that's
right? I'd be like, you know what? I think I need to fill up. Girl, I'll be at a quarter of a tank.
Hold on. We need to be a protected class of people. I got diagnosed at 32.
Solid. It wasn't until I stepped into the world of higher education that I truly began to see it for myself. When the books opened and it felt like they might swallow me whole. Deadlines, readings, mountains of projects, they all stacked like a blanket of burden, pressing me deeper into my bed, making responsibility feel like a weight I couldn't lift. I thought I was just lazy, yet at the very last second I'd pour in weeks of effort in about 1 to 2 days and somehow produce the best results. Pressure hitting me like a metamorphic rock beneath the surface, shaping me in silence. But in the second half of my freshman year, I started asking questions, started researching, and suddenly the doors of neurodivergence swung open. And I realized I was not alone. Because in this world, so many young women like me, and the women in the videos earlier, go unseen. Overlooked for diagnoses that could have changed their lives. And today I want to talk to you about one of them, ADHD. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder has 2 subcategories, inattentive and hyperactive. But society tends to recognize only one, the hyperactive. Girls like me are often overlooked because we wrestle quietly with the inattentive side. The boys, they're the ones who run around and climb at inappropriate times, who can't stay seated, who fidget, squirm, talk excessively, blurt out answers, finish your sentences, and seem to be driven by a motor. Those symptoms get noticed. Those symptoms get acknowledged. But girls like me are easily distracted by the world around us, forgetful in daily activities, daydreaming, losing track of time, misplacing everything from homework to hope. The amount of times that I have just put something down, left the room and came back, and it wasn't there, and now I don't remember where I put it. I would be rich if I had a nickel for every time that happened. We make careless mistakes, avoid tasks that feel overwhelmed, and struggle to stay organized or focused until something is finally complete. And because of that, we go unrecognized. As the Lancet says, whether females are genuinely less impacted by their symptoms or whether they are simply perceived to be less impacted by their parents or teachers remains to be determined. Too often, parents and teachers dismiss a young girl's inattention or forgetfulness as daydreaming or spaciness. Even her impulsivity gets brushed off as being too emotional or having a pushy personality. But these aren't character flaws. They're symptoms for many women in this world, Our diagnosis, our recognition depends on the adults around us, and that's how so many of us end up in what the Lancet calls the late onset group. It's not that ADHD suddenly appears later, it's that we've learned to mask it, to survive by mimicking, to hide the struggle just to be accepted. But masking comes at a cost to our hearts, to our self-worth, and to our peace. According to the Lancet, females are often first diagnosed with mental health conditions that overshadow ADHD or misdiagnosed altogether. Even I was originally diagnosed with GAD or generalized anxiety disorder when I went initially to be assessed for ADHD. Research shows that many young women with ADHD are misdiagnosed with anxiety or depression. In one study of adults with recurrent depression, many women met the criteria for ADHD, but they had not been diagnosed. When they stopped treatment for depression and started medication for ADHD, they experienced life-changing improvement. In a world that still revolves around men, even in medicine, we need recognition of our differences. The DSM-5, the Foundation for ADHD Diagnosis, was built on research done mostly on boys. As PMC reminds us, when diagnostic criteria are based on a male presentation, females are less likely to meet full diagnostic criteria. So where does change begin? It begins at home. It begins in the classroom, in these simple places. The recognition of ADHD in girls starts with the people who see them every day. Support for these girls starts with you, teachers and parents. As an aspiring educator, I implore my fellow teachers, learn what ADHD looks like in girls. You could be the stepping stone that leads one of your students to the help she needs. Early recognition, early intervention, that changes lives. Parents and guardians, I implore you too. If you notice your daughter daydreams often, struggles with organization, misses deadlines, avoids chores or schoolwork no matter how much you remind her, or any other symptoms that I have recognized in this spoken word, I ask you to ask questions. Check in with their teacher. If both of you see it, it may be time for an evaluation, because your attention, your advocacy could be the bridge between your daughter feeling like something is wrong with her and her realizing she's just simply different, and she's capable and worthy and whole. Dr. Arthur Robin, who works with adult women with ADHD, said that many feel like second-class citizens with poor self-esteem, trying to hide their difficulties and true nature from others. I ask you to carry that quote with you. Remember it when you teach. Remember it when you parent. Remember it when you meet a girl who's bright, creative, yet distracted, and quietly fighting a battle you cannot see. Because I was and still am that girl. And I know it starts with understanding. It starts with compassion. And it starts with you. Thank you.